Collaboration is the absolute best bang for your buck shortcut right now. Teach in their groups. Let them teach in yours. Be on their shows. Let them be on yours. Sharing audiences is one of the best ways to grow your audience quickly and affordably. Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where we absolutely believe that both prosperity and generosity can and must coexist. Now, today, we are continuing our 5-part series on the 5 new trends that every single small businesspreneur, entrepreneur, solopreneur absolutely needs to know for 2022. I call it the first mover advantage, right? If you know what's coming before the other people do, then you can either mitigate some of the stuff that's coming, and that allows you to stay ahead of the pack, or you can act proactively on some of the stuff that's coming, and that causes you to get ahead of the pack. Now, if you listen to last week's episode, number 1 of the 5 was that the online services space was getting significantly, and I mean like insanely tougher to earn a customer. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to that episode. Trust me, it's worth it. That one's a very important trend that we're going to see in 2022. So that brings us to number 2 out of the 5 trends, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And that is this. We are going to see a major move away from Facebook and Instagram ads. A major move away from them. There's a lot of reasons for this as well. Now, after hearing for years that you have to learn how to do Facebook ads, or you have to find someone that can do Instagram ads for you, and you're just not going to grow without being able to spend some money on them. And just when everyone started to either learn them and master them, or at least find someone to do it for them, all of a sudden, they have been rendered almost useless. Now, why is that? Well, with all the new privacy updates coming up in Apple's iOS 14.5, and now with iOS 15 that's just about to come out, tracking your prospects using a data trail that they leave behind is dramatically decreased across sites and apps and all the different ways that we used to gather data on individuals. I mean, do you realize how surgical we used to get? You left a data trail behind you that you probably didn't even quite realize. And so we would be able to say, we want to reach a lookalike audience, right? An audience that already looks like people and has the same demographics as people that follow and interact with us now. We're looking for not just a lookalike audience, but within that lookalike audience, we want to find males or females between the age of 29 and 34 who have been married within the last 6 months, who are highly likely to bring a new baby into the family within the next 9 months. And we want them in these zip codes, and we want them in this earning range. And we could get highly surgical. We could use information that almost told us what you're about to do before you knew what you were about to do. And then we'd place the right messaging and the right ads in front of you. And people have been doing this forever. And that's how some of the biggest brands became some of the biggest brands. Except now, like I said, the data trail that used to leave behind is starting to vanish because of these new privacy updates. And it also means it's becoming increasingly harder to track people and deliver relevant ads. So now, if you're to spend a ton of money on Facebook or Instagram ads, they're no longer highly surgical or relevant. Now you're throwing money against the wall and just seeing what sticks. Now it's kind of a spray and pray type of method. And the problem is that is not financially advantageous. The second problem with Facebook and Instagram ads is referencing what I just said, attribution, that means you could track where your customer or where your lead came from. Attribution is almost impossible to track now. Meaning it's really hard to see the direct results of that specific ad. So again, you don't really know, are you getting your money's worth? Are you not? Where'd these leads come from? Did it come from a podcast? Did it come from the ads? And you don't really know if you don't know where these leads come from, then you don't know if it's worth spending more money on. Now, this is a challenge for any of us who have always spent a lot of money on Facebook ads. As a matter of fact, it has not been a fair playing field. I can spend $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 a month on Facebook and Instagram ads, put my programs out there in front of yours and scoop up all those leads and customers. And other people can outspend me. Except now, the playing field becomes even. And this is the second point, by the way. If you go back and listen to last week's episode, number 1, that also evens out the playing field for you. Well, this number 2, this major move away from Facebook and Instagram ads, this evens the playing field even more because now somebody can't outspend you. Now somebody can't just bully you with dollars and get in front of the customers that you want to get in front of. So what can you do to offset this major move away from Facebook ads? Well, number 1, you're going to have to shift into alternative marketing. And some of the alternative marketing includes putting yourself on podcast tours. So for example, if you know you need to reach a certain demographic, let's say you want to reach female entrepreneurs that are trying to make their first 6 figures. You can go find all the podcasts that have that specific demographic, put yourself on a podcast tour where you're the guest on everybody else's shows, and bring them over to a list that you own, as we call it, your Facebook, that would be your email list or your text list. Bring them over, move them over to a list that you own after you wow them and impress them with a really great opt-in. An opt-in is a freebie that is compelling enough to make them say, fine, I'll give you my email, I'll give you my text. And these opt-ins have to be really valuable these days, right? To stand out among the crowd. But here's another thing you can do that people don't realize is really effective. This is like the new frontier of scooping up leads. Paying for or trading for podcast bumpers on similar or relevant shows to your demographic. So this means like before this episode, if I had you on and I said, hey, so-and-so, hey, audience, before I kick this episode off, I would love to share a friend with you. I've got so-and-so who decided that they're going to come on the next 8 episodes and they're going to share a tip on money management. And so, hey, so-and-so, thanks for being on. I know how valuable your time is. What's your first tip on money management? And then you'd share your tip on, money management or whatever your subject matter is. And then I'd say, oh my God, that's amazing. Where can we find more? And you tell us where to find more. Well, that type of bumper on front end of other people's podcasts is a highly compelling way to make people say, wow, I never heard of him. Wow, I never heard of her. They're awesome. I'm going to check out their stuff. And there's certain ways to do it to really convert. That's some of the stuff that we teach in the Elite Mastermind. But nonetheless, you can figure this out on your own over time. Another form of alternative marketing that you're going to have to move into is collaborations. Collaborations with what I call similar creatives. Anyone who's in your genre, who's creating content, you got to collaborate with them. Share audiences. And this is where maybe your lack mentality kicks in. You're like, well, I'm not sharing my list. I'm not sharing my audience. I'm not selling someone else's program. But that's short-sighted because the people that love Jack Canfield's stuff also love Tony Robbins stuff. And the people who love Tony Robbins stuff, they also love Mel Robbins stuff. And the people who love Mel Robbins stuff, they also love Brendon Burchard stuff, right? Like they don't just stop at one person. They're junkies. And I mean that in a good way. They want to eat it all up. I'm sure that you listen to lots of podcasts on business. I'm sure you listen to lots of podcasts on money. You can't get enough good ones. And so people aren't going to stop at the other person's product. They're not going to stop at the other person's offerings. They're going to come check out yours as well. Collaboration is the absolute best bang for your buck shortcut right now. Teach in their groups. Let them teach in yours. Be on their shows. Let them be on yours. Sharing audiences is one of the best ways to grow your audience quickly and affordably. We're also going to see an uptick in Google ads and YouTube ads because they don't have the same privacy restrictions right now that Facebook and Instagram ads do. And then here's something you really need to lean into. Natural virality. TikTok is taking over. Reels is taking over. You already know that. But this natural virality that's happening, where you can have very little audience whatsoever. And if you're offering up something that people like, before you know it, you're in front of 2, 3, 4 million views. Taking advantage of that natural virality is a must. And learning TikTok ads is a must. And learning how to sell on TikTok is a must. I would invest some serious time into being on the front end of that frontier because it's not oversaturated yet. So these are some of the things you can do to offset trend number 2 that we're going to see, and that is this major move away from Facebook and Instagram ads. If you've been depending on them, well, this is a wake-up call. Time to do something else, a lot of something else's. And if you've never depended on them, this should excite you because the playing field has just been evened out significantly. This will be your year to shine. And again, a reminder to go back and listen to last week's episode where I shared number 1, the online services space is getting significantly tougher to earn a customer. Remember, there's 5 of these brand new trends, and we're going to keep this 5-part series going. So next week, we'll talk about trend number 3, the week after that, trend number 4, and the week after that, trend number 5. But if you hear these things and you realize, hey, this is good information, I want to learn how to do this. And if you are going to make more than $500,000 in 2022, then the best way to learn these things is by us lifting the curtain and collaborating with other brilliant, like-minded entrepreneurs just like yourself in our elite mastermind. Now, I've got a good news, bad news scenario for you. As I'm recording this right now, I think you've already known, if you've listened to the show, that 65% of last year's members in the elite mastermind renewed. That's how much they loved it. So there's less spots than ever left. I'll add to that bad news for you, and that is I'm already in the process of going through all the awesome applications we've gotten throughout the year. And I'm doing tons of interview calls right now to see who's going to be the best fits in the elite mastermind for those last few spots left. But it doesn't mean it's not too late for you. Here's exactly what you can do. You can go to chrisharder.me/mastermind, fill out the application right away so that my team can put it in front of me and we can jump on Zoom to see if you're a good fit. Or you can text me so we can banter back and forth a little bit about it. Just text me the word ELITE to 310-421-0416. Again, text me the word ELITE to 310-421-0416, and we'll banter back and forth a little bit via text. And if it's a good fit, I'll point you towards the application. Otherwise, go right towards that app. I wouldn't wait if I was you. If you're going to make more than $500,000, and if you want to be in this room where everyone else, almost everyone in there is multiple 7 figures, so you're going to grow the fastest, then I'm going to highly encourage you that you rush over to chrisharder.me/mastermind. Because my goal with this mastermind is to create a room every year where every single thing you need is in that room or one introduction away. And every year I've nailed it, and I don't plan on not nailing it this year. Go check it out. I can't wait to see who's going to get those last few spots available this year. And in the meantime, tune in next week for trend number 3 that every single entrepreneur needs to know to get ahead for 2022. Thanks for listening. Always appreciate you. Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.